So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start. अब जल्दी से जल्दी हम आज का सेशन शुरू करेंगे. So here we are starting it. चलिए. So let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. So let's start with this particular statement by Gautam Buddha. He's saying that every day is a new day. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. Every day is a new day. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. Now, this is so true with our life. Okay. So true with our life. And specifically in the UPSC journey, what you did in your graduation, what you did in your school, that thing will not make much difference in UPSC preparation. School, graduation, those are over now. UPSC is altogether a different game. It's a new thing. You have to prepare yourself, and everyone has equal chance here. It all depends upon your hard work. Okay, it all depends upon your hard work. Who is more hardworking definitely will get a chance to clear this exam. This is how things are. And I would like to tell you one thing, friends. This is also linked with the other thing, that every attempt of UPSC is a new attempt. Okay, every attempt of UPSC is a new attempt. You have to understand this thing. हर अटेम्प्ट नहीं होती है. Why I am saying this, every attempt is a new attempt? Because sometimes I have seen this particular problem with the aspirants. Now they will be saying that this year I will be clearing the prelims and next year I will be preparing for the mains. So the point is this, they may not even get a chance to write mains again. ओके उनको शायद दोबारा कभी चांस ही नहीं मिलेगा ये लिखने के लिए, बिकॉज द चैलेंज ऑफ यूपीएससी इज लाइक दिस. अनसर्टेनिटी लेवल हैज इंक्रीज tremendously, and the point here is that you have to understand whatever you did in your past attempt, पिछला attempt अगर नहीं भी हुआ आपका, so और अगर हो भी गया, that doesn't mean that it is going to have any impact on your present, you can say, attempt that you will be appearing in. So this is how you have to understand. It's your past, it's over. You have to start from begin. You have to start it again. There will be new additions to your preparation. Okay, there will be new additions to your preparation in the sense new topics. Current affairs तो आपको हर साल नए करने ही पड़ेंगे. The events in this world are going on at a really faster rate. Okay, पूरी दुनिया बहुत फास्ट तरीके से बदलती है, and as these events are like you can say changing at a faster rate, definitely there will be an advantage for us. Okay, advantage in the sense that now we know this, that every attempt is a new attempt, और उसके अंदर even the freshers, they have a chance. Okay, freshers also, they have a chance. That's the important point here. That's the point you have to understand. This is what UPSC wants. UPSC wants things to remain uncertain so that the new, like youngsters, they can also appear in this exam and they can clear in this exam. This is how things are, and this is what you have to understand, that every day is a new day. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. And the point is this, गिर गिर के ही इंसान सीखता है. ठीक है ना, जब बहुत जगहों पे ठोकर लगती है तब जो है इंसान सीखता है, and it will make you a strong person. So this is how things are. This is what Gautam Buddha wanted you to have. So let's start it. Let's see what else is there in today's newspaper. Now, Hindu woman suit in gyanvapi case maintainable. This is what Supreme Court is saying. Okay, उन्होंने एडमिट कर लिया है ये केस और उसकी सुनवाई होगी. दिस इज व्हाट द कोर्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इज. ओके, सो इसके अंदर कुछ अलग नहीं है. सो हियर दे आर सेइंग दैट लाइक नाइदर द प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट नॉर वक्फ एक्ट 1995 nor UP Shri Kashi Vishwanath Temple Act, okay, मतलब ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है विच सेज दैट द पेटिशन कैन नॉट बी यू कैन से हर्ड और केस की सुनवाई ना हो सके. सो डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे केस की सुनवाई होगी. ओके, एंड द इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट इज दिस. अब इसके अंदर एक चीज समझना जरूरी है. इस केस की सुनवाई हो जाएगी. द पॉइंट दैट वी आर मेकिंग हियर, that this Gyanvapi mosque, okay, now you have places of worship act which says that the nature of the place, nature of the worship place should not be changed. और जो 1947 15 अगस्त को जो आपका नेचर रहेगा वो एज इट इज रहेगा. मीन्स इफ इट इज अ टेम्पल इट विल रिमेन एज अ टेम्पल, इफ इट्स अ मॉस्क इट विल रिमेन एज अ मॉस्क. एंड वन एक्सेप्शन दैट वाज गिवन टू इट वाज अ राम मंदिर, अयोध्या मंदिर. दैट वाज अ एक्सेप्शनल थिंग एंड इट वाज एडेड इन दैट सिस्टम एज वेल. तो वो एक्सेप्शन चल रहा था यहाँ पे. But at present, the way things are taking place now, we cannot change each and every, you can say, mosque which has been built by replacing the temple. Okay, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. That's the past and we should keep it in the past itself. उसको past में ही रहने देना चाहिए. This is how the point is. Because here in India we have a rule of law and this is what your law is saying. Now this petition has been filed in the court which says that, like, why the date is 15th August 1947. क्या उससे पीछे की डेट क्यों नहीं हो सकती है? So on these particular basis, now the case is going to be fought and we have to figure it out what turn it is going to take. वो चीज हमें देखना है कि यहाँ पे इसके बाद क्या टर्न ये लेता है. That's the point that you have to understand. And in this Gyanvapi mosque, I would tell you this thing. Already there are some deities which are visible and there are some which are invisible. मतलब कुछ वहाँ पे हैं, Lord Ganesh and like there is all these things are visible there. So as per the present arrangement, earlier worship was allowed. Okay, in 1993 UP government restricted the worship to 1 day in a year. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. सो इस साल में एक बार वर्शिप तो वहां पे होती है बट राइट नाउ दे कैन क्लेम over it. Okay, this is how things are. Now Anusri is asking, sir, by amendment can abolish the place of worship act 1991. I am saying that yes. I am not saying that abolish करना ठीक होगा. The point is this, it will show a majoritarian tendency. Okay, अगर उसको हम चेंज करते हैं, अबॉलिश करते हैं, इट विल शो अ मेजोरिटेरियन टेंडेंसी दैट इंडिया इज अ मेजोरिटेरियन कंट्री, हिंदू मेजोरिटी कंट्री. ओके, अ हिंदू राष्ट्र, नॉट अ सेकुलर कंट्री. So this is what we have to understand. Like, let the judicial debate take place. Let the judiciary decide what is going to be there in this particular matter. तो judiciary ज़्यादा अच्छी चीज़ है यहाँ पे, मतलब ज़्यादा अच्छा एक रोल प्ले करेंगे एज दे विल बी एनालाइजिंग थिंग्स फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट परस्पेक्टिव. यहाँ पे जुडिशरी का डिफरेंट परस्पेक्टिव होगा. लेजिस्लेचर कैन नॉट बी इंक्लूड बिकॉज लेजिस्लेचर इज गोइंग टू बी पॉपुलिस्ट, क्योंकि लेजिस्लेचर को वोट लेने जाना है, ठीक है ना, तो वो तो पॉपुलिस्ट हो जाएंगे. ओके, जो जनता चाहेगी वो हो जाएंगे. एंड व्हेन आई एम सेइंग दिस, देयर माइट बी अ टेंडेंसी ऑफ मेजोरिटेरियन पॉलिटिक्स. ओके, दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी राइट फॉर अस. जहां पे मेजोरिटेरियन पॉलिटिक्स आ जाएगी वो शायद हमारे लिए उतना सही नहीं होगा. सो दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. Things are different slightly. So we'll move to the next part now. Now retail inflation surges to 7% as food prices mount. Okay, so again inflation debate is back here. So we know that the target for us is 4 plus minus 2, means for the monetary policy committee means maximum limit is for 6%. And the point here is that at present it is above that. So it has been the 7th consecutive month then that your inflation is above the target. तो आपका inflation above चल रहा है target के. And this is the alarming thing because recently we have seen the finance minister coming out with the statement. Okay, and that statement was nothing but an hint to the RBI. यहाँ पे RBI को hint भी दिया गया है by saying that interest rate और मत बढ़ाना. Okay, because growth is also important. RBI has been increasing the interest rate, we know the fact, and already it has reached to the pre-COVID level. तो pre-COVID level तक तो ये पहुंच चुका है. Now the point is this, it should not be further increased. वो चीज प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो जाएगी because then it will impact your growth prospects. वहां पे आपके growth prospects को एक तरीके से नुकसान होगा. This is the point that we have to understand here. That's why, like, we are hoping that some you can say some other methods should be used here. Already the government is saying that the steps have been taken, and it will take 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks to show the impact. 3 से 4 हफ्ते के अंदर इन्फ्लेशन कम आ जाएगा, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट इज क्लेमिंग दिस दैट सम अदर स्टेप्स हैव आल्सो बीन टेकन. दिस इज द ओवरऑल पॉइंट दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर. सो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट एंड डायरेक्टली मूव टू द एडिटोरियल सेक्टर हियर. एडिटोरियल वाले एरिया पे चलते हैं, देखते हैं एडिटोरियल क्या कहता है. So directly we'll heading towards editorial. Okay, here we have this editorial which is primarily on Congress. तो भारत जोड़ो and Congress जोड़ो as opportunities. This is the political editorial. We won't be interested in that. इसको लेके हम कुछ खास करेंगे नहीं. So let's look into this particular debate. Now India has lost its way in the use of international law. The point here is that this editorial is saying that international law is existing, but India is not using it for its benefit. Okay, India is not using the provisions of international law for its benefit. Why is this being pointed out? Because there are multiple instances. So right now China is assertive. Are we taking any legal action against China in the international arena? क्या हम कोई action ले रहे हैं China के against? नहीं, we are not taking any action against China right now. So this is the problematic part here. So here they are suggesting that we should use these international legal provisions for our benefit. And the point here is this, like there is nothing wrong in that because countries do that. भाई बाकी countries इन चीज़ों को अपने benefit के लिए use करते हैं. So why can't India use it? It is quite justified. बिल्कुल सही है ये, इसमें कोई problem नहीं है. Justification is right here. So there is no problem with that. That's the point we have to understand. And here in this editorial they are mentioning about multiple examples as well, that where India has been lagging behind और कहाँ पे India ने कोई भी international law use नहीं किया है. And this is not just confined to China's case, even with the Pakistan as well. पाकिस्तान की बात करेंगे तब भी हमने पाकिस्तान को कभी भी इंटरनेशनली इतना ज़्यादा परेशान नहीं किया है. माइनर इंस्टेंसेस आर देयर, बट मेजरली दैट्स द शॉर्टफॉल ऑफ इंडियाज फॉरेन पॉलिसी. वो एक मेजर कमी बताई जाती है इंडिया शॉर्ट फॉरेन पॉलिसी को लेके. ओके, सो लेट्स लुक इनटू दिस इन डिटेल. इसको देखते हैं कि डिटेल में ये क्या कह रहा है, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज पॉइंटिंग आउट. ओके, सो हियर they are saying that unlike the West, its journalists, diplomats and policymakers rarely employ the international law vocabulary extensively. So you need to understand, like in India we don't have specialists. हम लोग specialist appoint नहीं करते हैं. We have journalists appointed as diplomats. Okay, means they are not experts. They are not experts. So if you are giving a task to the journalist, अगर आप किसी journalist को task देते हो, so it is quite you can say, you can easily figure it out that he may not be that effective. ये इतना effective नहीं होगा because he might not be having knowledge about the international legal system, and he will not use the terminology that is popular in the international legal system. तो जो इंटरनेशनल लीगल सिस्टम में टर्मिनोलॉजी पॉपुलर है वो चीज शायद ये यूज ना करें. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग दैट हैज बीन पॉइंटेड आउट हियर. वो चीज यहाँ पे पॉइंट आउट की गई है. सो हियर दे आर सेइंग दैट लाइक वी हैव अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन सेज दैट वी हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट द इंटरनेशनल लॉ एंड द प्रोविजन हैज बीन प्रोवाइडेड इन आर्टिकल 51. तो ये हमारे यहाँ पे डीपीएसपी के अंदर मेंशन्ड है, ठीक है ना. So this is how directive policy of the state, directive principles of the state policy mentions about this thing. Okay, directive principles में ये mentioned है. And other point is this: if we look into the performance of different leaders in India, now Jawaharlal Nehru, like he was very particular about India's image as a law-abiding nation. Okay, तो नेहरू बहुत ही particular थे कि India as a ideal country नजर आना चाहिए, ठीक है ना. That we are a respected country, we follow international laws, we follow international rules, this and that. This is what Nehru ji wanted India to have. Okay, तो वो एक तरीके से ये चीज चाहते थे कि इंडिया की इमेज कुछ इतनी अच्छी हो जाए. Now he was quite right about it. There is nothing wrong in following international law. बिल्कुल हमें follow करना चाहिए. Okay, but the point is this: whenever you are a victim, जब आप victim हो, then you should also use international law. तब भी तो इंटरनेशनल लॉ यूज करना चाहिए ना आपको. दिस इज व्हाट द ओवरऑल पॉइंट इज अबाउट. सो वी हैव अटेन्ड सोवरेनिटी एंड वी हैव बीन यू कैन से फ्लैग बेरर ऑफ लॉ बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर. ओके, तो हम शुरू से ही बोलते आए हैं कि इस दुनिया के अंदर लॉ बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर होना चाहिए. ओके, different countries, they should respect the international legal system, or this is what India says. Okay, now we know this thing, China doesn't follow the international law, China follow nahi karta hai, aur ye China ka criticism bhi hai, and this is how things are. Now we have been a supporter of, you can say, independence of the अफ्रीकन नेशंस एज पर द इंटरनेशनल लीगल सिस्टम और कन्वेंशंस, तो वो भी हमने सपोर्ट किया है. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर, एंड वी हैव बीन कमिटेड टू द यूएन चार्टर एज वेल. वट एवर वैल्यूज यूएन चार्टर इज मेंशनिंग, इंडिया रिस्पेक्ट्स दैट, वेदर इट इज ह्यूमन राइट्स, वेदर इट इज investment, whether it is fighting against pollution, all those things are respected, and India is engaging in all these activities. Okay, so we are playing an active role in shaping the international law as well, because India is proposing comprehensive convention on international terrorism. अब ये हम लोग ही प्रपोज कर रहे हैं एक comprehensive convention on international terrorism. Why this development is important? Because at present there is no single definition of terrorism. आज की डेट में कोई सिंगल डेफिनेशन नहीं है टेररिज्म की. ओके, विच इज एक्सेप्टेबल टू ऑल, which is acceptable to all. So India is saying that we need to have a single definition of terrorism, and so that if we will define the terrorism, then only we will be able to fight it out. भाई जब आप इसको एक बार अच्छे से डिफाइन करोगे तभी तो आप इस पे लड़ पाओगे. दिस इज द पॉइंट, एंड दिस इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट. This is the whole thing that they are coming out with. So it is obvious example of this, that India's failure to use international law vocabulary to call out Chinese transgression of India's sovereignty. So this is how things are. Now, barring a few instances such as suing Pakistan at the International Court of Justice in Kulbhushan Jadhav case, India has not used international courts to hold Pakistan accountable. दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट वी आर मेकिंग. यही तो बात है कि हम लोग इसको यूज नहीं करते हैं. ओके, बहुत ही कम इंसिडेंट्स हैं. सेम इज द केस विद चाइना. द वोकैबुलरी दैट यू कैन से योर डिप्लोमेट्स आर यूजिंग इज नॉट इन लाइन इन, you can say, in system with the international legal arrangement. उसके हिसाब से ही नजर नहीं आ रही है. ठीक है ना? This is the point that is there, and this appears that, like, why are we failing? One of the problem that is highlighted is institutional bottlenecks. Now we are failing because we don't have a legal and treaties division. Now legal and treaties divisions will be there, but it will be understaffed. सब कुछ understaffed है इस country के अंदर. Your foreign office is understaffed. That's the point here. So this is a major concern. Institutional bottlenecks, it has been highlighted. Other problem is the academic obstruction. Academic obstruction means that today we are not teaching international law in this country, and we have neglected it. We have neglected it, so you don't have teachers, academicians who can research on international law, and this whole area has remained neglected in last 75 years. पूरे 75 साल तक हमने अच्छे से इस कैपेसिटी को जनरेट नहीं किया है. वी हैव नॉट इंक्लूडेड ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन द यूनिवर्सिटी कोर्सेज. आप यूनिवर्सिटी कोर्सेज के अंदर इसको नहीं लेके जा रहे हो. ओके, दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक पार्ट. वी शुड हैव टेकन इट. वी शुड हैव टेकन इट. वी शुड हैव इंट्रोड्यूस दोज थिंग्स इन द यूनिवर्सिटी कोर्सेज. वो चीज हमें करनी जरूरी थी. ठीक है ना? यूनिवर्सिटी कोर्सेज के अंदर हमें ये चीजों को, इन चीजों को लेके जाना जरूरी था. दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. बट हियर वी आर नॉट डूइंग मच. वो चीज हम यहाँ पे कर नहीं रहे हैं. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक पार्ट, एंड द पॉइंट इज क्वाइट क्लियर दैट यू डोंट हैव अ कैपेसिटी टू स्टडी इंटरनेशनल लॉ, टू मेक डोमेस्टिक लॉज इन लाइन विद द इंटरनेशनल प्रोविजंस, ऑल दोज थिंग्स. That's the problematic part here. So we'll move to the next part. Next is great G20 power, great responsibility. Now this editorial is important for you. Okay, important in the sense lot of good content will be there. काफी अच्छा कंटेंट आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा इसके अंदर. So here let's start this editorial. So India will have the opportunity to assume center stage in setting the global agenda. So it's regarding G20. Okay, so India is going to be the seat of G20. It means that India will be a chairman. India will be heading it. And as you are a chairman, as you are the seat, it means that you will have the opportunity to shape it. Okay, आपके पास ये अपॉर्चुनिटी भी आएगी कि आप इसे शेप कर सकें, स्पेसिफिकली द एजेंडा. Now this is how things are. Before moving ahead, I would like to tell you one thing. The past G20 summit, इंडोनेशिया हैड द प्रेसिडेंशियल चेयरमैनशिप जो है वो इंडोनेशिया के पास थी. ओके, so we can definitely learn from the past experience how Indonesia managed all the arrangements. Why the management is really very critical, because at present the world is divided. Okay, so आज की दुनिया जो है वो divided है on multiple issues. We know this. So Ukraine Russia war going on, ये एक डिवीजन है. All of the players are not on the same page. There are opponents to these wars, and there are some who are silent, who are not criticizing Russia for that. So this is how things are a bit different. And so in this environment where too much polarization is there, it is important that the country which hosts, okay, जहां जो host करने वाला है ये उनकी responsibility है how it is to be, you can say, improved, how this environment need to be made facilitative so that other important issues can be discussed. So this is the major point here. तो ये चीज समझना जरूरी है. So here I would like to tell you one thing. Modi ji is going to attend the meeting at Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, and this is going to be the first in-person meeting after COVID. So we know that वो telecommunication से होती थी meeting, but here it is going to be the first in-person meeting after COVID. So it has its own importance. काफी important हो जाएगी because Modi ji is going to meet Putin. मोदी जी पुतिन को मिलेंगे. मोदी जी माइट मीट जी जिनपिंग, नॉट मीन्स पर्सनली, तो जी जिनपिंग के साथ थोड़ी मुलाकात शायद हो सकती है. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. नाउ द पॉइंट इज दिस, द होल वर्ल्ड विल बी कीपिंग एन आई, स्पेसिफिकली आर क्वाड पार्टनर्स. तो हमारे जो क्वाड पार्टनर्स हैं वो जरूर हम पे नजर रखेंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज द डायलेमा दैट इंडिया हैज टू फेस, बिकॉज वी हैव क्वाड पार्टनर्स यूएस जापान. ओके, यूएस जापान ऑस्ट्रेलिया. नाउ these three are the quad partners of us, and India is definitely one of them. So they will keep an eye what India is doing, what the statement India is making, what Modi ji is making, because this is how it's a very tricky relation that we have to maintain. At one point you can say Russia, which is important for you, China important for you because China is our neighbor. Other point is this US bloc. So both things are some appearing to be opposite to each other. ऐसा लगता है कि Quad is there to basically balance the Russians and the Chinese. Okay, so this is how it's a problematic equation, and that's why it is a bit difficult to manage it. थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है. So this visit will be watched closely by West and by India's Quad partner for India's engagement with Russian President Vladimir Putin, as Russian war in Ukraine has completed more than 6 months. This is how things are turning right now. So this will also be the first time that Mr. Modi will be meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping face to face. Okay, ये एक importance है, and we may further discuss more things with the Chinese regarding disengagement. उसको लेके भी बात होगी. It is not necessary that they are going to talk it on the platform of SCO. कि जरूरी नहीं है कि SCO के platform पे ये बात हो, but definitely these talks will play important role. At least there will be some, you can say, trust equation between both the countries. Now you have to understand one thing. India will be a president of United Nations Security Council. Okay, we will remain as president till December 2022. That's one point here. वो point भी आपको समझना होगा. G20, it's a strategic bloc, and India is going to preside over that as well. So it is the important role that India might be playing in couple of years. Okay, so if you look into the G20, now it represents more than 80% of the world's GDP, 75% of the international trade, and 60% of the world population. So this is the importance of G20. You cannot undermine this particular part. And the point here is this is the important area where UPSC may ask a question. ये important area है जहां पे UPSC आपसे सवाल करेगा. This is the point that you have to understand. ये एक important area है जहां UPSC आपसे सवाल कर सकता है. It can be a potential question in your mains. ये आपके मेंस में एक पोटेंशियल क्वेश्चन हो सकता है. दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड रिगार्डिंग G20 एंड द रोल इंडिया इज गोइंग टू प्ले एज अ presiding entity there. Okay, so this is how it is important that you should study this in detail. इसको थोड़ा सा अच्छे से पढ़ना आप. ठीक है जी. This is the point here. Now, like at present, if you see the whole world, there are a lot of problems that this world is dealing with. Pandemic is not over yet. Ukraine conflict is the another problem. Economic challenges that are there. China is assertive, terrorism, stagflation, climate change. Okay, so stagflation is a situation where you have high inflation. So high inflation भी चल रहा है and the economic growth is also not there. So along with high equation, economic growth is not there, okay, which is resulting into unemployment. So this type of situation we are dealing with right now. And the point here is this: when you have this type of situation, definitely there need to be a global cooperation, okay. तो बिना global cooperation के तो हम इससे deal नहीं कर सकते. There is no doubt about it. Now, other things you have to understand, like we can learn from Indonesia's presidency how it handled multiple things. So Indonesia focused on three key pillars regarding global health architecture, sustainable energy transition, digital transformation. So these were the three areas which were discussed under the Indonesia's, you can say, leadership. So India has this chance. Now we have to maintain this balance because at present there is too much polarization that is there in this world. पूरी दुनिया एक तरीके से divided है on multiple issues, and in that case you have to bring these divided countries together. ये आपकी सबसे बड़ी responsibility है and it is going to be difficult. ये कहीं ना कहीं डिफिकल्ट भी हो जाता है, ओके. सो इंडिया माइट बी कॉट इन द मिडल एज इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ बोथ क्वाड एंड एचसीओ. तो जैसा मैंने आपको बताया ये दोनों का ही पार्ट है, ओके. बैलेंस आउट करना इज डिफिकल्ट, इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू बैलेंस आउट. सो ये चीज समझना जरूरी है. इंडिया माइट हैव टू एड्रेस इश्यूज दैट हेल्प इन ब्रिजिंग द एमर्जिंग डिवाइड इन द वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर, okay. So this is how things are. This is how things are. It needs to promote its specific priorities related to domestic and regional issues such as economic recovery, trade and investment, unemployment, patent waiver on diagnostics, therapeutics, vaccine to the COVID-19. These are the areas which India want to be highlighting. ये हम चाहते हैं कि ये चीज एक तरीके से डिस्कस हो G20 के अंदर. सो इट इज अ चांस फॉर अस टू बेसिकली सेट द एजेंडा द वे वी वांट. जिस तरीके से हम करना चाहते हैं हम कर सकते हैं. तो ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है एंड वी कैन डेफिनेटली वर्क विद डिफरेंट कंट्रीज फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, इंक्लूडिंग यूरोपियन यूनियन, इंक्लूडिंग यूके, इंक्लूडिंग कैनेडा. सो उन सबको भी हम साथ लेके चल सकते हैं. दिस इज हाउ द पॉइंट इज. सो ओवर आर्किंग इश्यूज कुड बी रिलेटेड टू चार्टिंग अ रोड मैप. वी वांट अ क्विक ग्लोबल recovery, focusing on the supply chain resilience mechanism, okay. So we know that right now the whole world was dependent on China. So as there was a coronavirus in China, तो global supply chain पूरी ठप हो गई थी. So we don't want that type of situation again in this world. Neither the other parts of the country, other parts of the world want it. पूरी दुनिया में कोई country नहीं चाहता कि सिर्फ चाइना के ऊपर dependent रहें. They are already looking forward to diversify their, you can say, engagement, economic engagement with other partners. They are looking up to India, that India can play an important role. कि भाई India यहाँ पे एक important role play कर सकता है when it comes to sustainable and inclusive development. This is how the things are. कि भाई चाहे चाइना को बैलेंस करने की बात हो तो दैट रोल कैन ओनली बी प्लेड बाय इंडिया. दिस इज व्हाट दिस एडिटोरियल वाज अबाउट, ओके. सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं क्या है. हु इज द मेडन रोड एक्सीडेंट विक्टिम इन इंडिया. So here there are some statistics that are there in front of you. So like it's a very really sad state that we face this problem here, because it is not just the life that will be lost. Along with the life of a person, economic impact is also there. तो यहाँ पे इकोनॉमिक इम्पैक्ट भी देखने को मिलता है. सो देर आर सम स्टैटिस्टिक्स एसोसिएटेड विद दिस पर्टिकुलर, you can say, data on deaths and all that, how many accidents have taken place and like what are the details of that. Okay, so gender wise if we see, majorly it's a male who are more indulging in accidents, जिनका accident ज़्यादा होता है. And when you look into the age wise system, so primarily people between the age group of 18 to 45, they end up in accidents more. Okay, वहाँ पे accidents ज़्यादा देखने को मिल रहे हैं. And when you look into the hours, अगर हम आवर्स की बात करें तो किस टाइम पे एक्सीडेंट ज़्यादा होते हैं, मेनली इट इज़ ड्यूरिंग द पीक आवर्स, ओके. सो ये आप देखिए शाम के टाइम एक्सीडेंट्स ज़्यादा होते हैं. सो these are the issues. Now as in the, you can say, 6 to 9 in the evening accidents are more, so it can be reduced by bringing it the lightning. लाइट अगर आप लगा दें तो भी थोड़ा बहुत एक्सीडेंट कम हो सकते हैं, okay. It plays some role, it can play some role in saving some of the lives. So this is the statistics in front of you, and other than that, Like state wise, if you see, like UP is at the top because UP has the maximum population. So it is how, this is how you can say accidents are more. And if you look into the city wise, so Delhi has more number of accidents. Okay, major cities में Delhi में ज़्यादा accident हो रहे हैं. And motor major, it's a two wheeler which are ending up in accidents. So these are some of the statistics there in front of you. So other than that there is nothing much. आगे चलते हैं सीधा मेन मुद्दे के ऊपर. Okay, so Supreme Court Collegium approves names for appointments in 3 high courts. Now you have to understand one thing, this is the problem in this country. Now when we look into the high courts, look at the vacancies that are there. So vacancies may be nearly 40%. 40% of seats are vacant, and the pace at which these vacancies are to be filled is really very slow. तो ये pace कहीं ना कहीं बहुत slow है. That's the problematic part here. Now multiple reasons are there regarding this. Okay, Chief Justice of India and other judges, they are part of the collegium. It's a 5-member, you can say, body which are having 4 judges and 1 Chief Justice. This is how they operate. Okay, and together they decide regarding the appointments and the transfers of the judges of the High Court or the appointments to the Supreme Court as well. Now we have seen it, this particular point. Now Supreme Court judges are quite busy in their task. वो काफी busy रहते हैं. They don't have the time to, you can say, shortlist the candidates. They are already occupied, preoccupied रहते हैं वो. This is the problem. So like it was a suggestion that we need to have a separate body which should look into scrutinizing or selecting the candidates for High Court or Supreme Court. एक separate body होनी चाहिए. And you can have all the judicial members. अगर आप चाहते हो तो उसके अंदर सारे members judicial कर दो. So this type of model is followed in UK. India can also adopt that type of model, but हम ऐसा करते नहीं हैं. We are still following the archaic system. And other problem that is associated with this is that even the collegium is not transparent. No transparency is there. Why they are shortlisting a candidate? What is the reason why they are not selecting the other candidates? There is no clarity over it. Okay, तो वहां पे कोई clarity नजर नहीं आती. वहां पे आपको कोई भी एक तरीके से ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं समझ में आती. ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है. That's the problematic part. So this is how it's a problematic thing here. So we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है. So here, as you can move on this next part here, there is nothing much. Okay, states told to implement the adoption rules. We already know these things. Like some legal arrangements have been changed. Law कुछ change हुए हैं, and as per the change, now adoption related matter will be looked after by the district magistrate. Okay, he is going to have jurisdiction. So some of the activists, they are having this complaint that earlier the matters were already with the court. Now you have to start the process all together again. तो पहले मामले जो हैं वो कोर्ट के अंदर थे, अब आपको दोबारा से ही वो मामला दोबारा सुनना पड़ रहा है. That's the point here. Okay, so this is how it's a problematic thing that has been pointed out. कि भाई why this thing is there. Okay, this is the point that is there. DM के हाथ में सारी पावर देना, it's not a right thing. Okay, it's not a right thing that you handed over the absolute power in the hand of district magistrate. Okay, this is the problematic part. Other than that there is nothing much. Okay, so we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. So here directly we'll move to the international page, and here we have this news. Ukraine claims more territorial gains. So this is how now war is turning against Russia. Russian forces, they have been forced to flee the areas that they captured in Ukraine. कुछ एक एरिया को उनको छोड़ के भागना पड़ा है. That's the reality. Okay, कुछ एक एरिया को उनको छोड़ के भागना पड़ा है. ये चीज़ आज की डेट में हो रही है. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ इट अपीयर्स टू बी बिट प्रॉब्लमेटिक. ये कुछ ना कुछ कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉब्लमेटिक आपको नजर आ रहा है. प्रॉब्लमेटिक ऐसे है, इट मीन्स दैट देयर विल बी नो एंड टू दिस वॉर. ओके, इस वॉर का एंड जल्दी नज़दीक नहीं आएगा, एंड इट कैन फर्दर स्ट्रेच अप टू 6 to 7 months. That's the problematic thing here. Now Russia has been exposed that Russia doesn't have the capacity. So right now Russia is importing arms from North Korea. वो North Korea से हथियार लेके आ रहा है. ये प्रॉब्लम आज रशिया को देखने को मिल रही है. That's the alarming thing here. So it exposed the Russian capacity as a global power. It exposed Russian capacity as a world power. So as a world power, as a global power, Russia has been exposed, and this is how the present things are. Okay. तो ये चीज़ है. तो ये उस तरीके की बात हो गई कि शिकारी खुद यहाँ शिकार हो गया. And now Russians are losing it. They are losing their men. Already Russian economy is in mess. So they are not able to, you can say, reach their objective and the goal for which they started this war. जिस रीजन के लिए वॉर स्टार्ट किया था वो शायद रशिया कभी भी पूरा नहीं कर पाएगा. एंड रशिया overestimated their capacity and underestimated the will of Ukrainians. So they were thinking that it will be a walkover, आसानी से walkover हो जाएगा और बस ना कुछ करने की जरूरत पड़ेगी, and like Ukraine will surrender, this and that, and this is what they were thinking. But here things are turning against it. आज की जो चीज़ें हैं वो ये दिखती हैं कि भी like things are going against Russians. Okay, वो चीज़ें बिल्कुल रशियंस के अगेंस्ट जा रही हैं. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग हियर. सो ये चीज़ आज की डेट में आपको समझनी पड़ेगी. ओके, दिस इज हाउ द थिंग्स आर. सो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज़. नाउ here we have another news. Iran says it's ready to cooperate with IAEA. Okay, so here Iran is saying it is ready to cooperate with International Atomic Energy Agency. International Atomic Energy Agency. Okay, it's a body, global body that look into these matters. Now Iran is ready to cooperate on these areas. It's a good development. Good development in the sense it is showing that Iran has some will to, you can say, to not to proliferate. कि भी ईरान थोड़ी इच्छा दिखा रहा है कि हम जो है proliferate नहीं करेंगे. Okay, it's a good development in the sense that it shows that there might be some deal that will be struck, and that deal will facilitate Iranian oil to be there in international market. कि भी ईरान का oil जो है वो international market में आएगा and the oil prices will further go down. So it's a positive thing that is happening. Specifically for country like India. India के लिए तो और भी अच्छा है because we are an oil importing country. Majorly हम import करते हैं. We are dependent on the imports and there is no other choice. Okay, और कोई choice आपके पास नहीं है, आपको import करना ही पड़ता है. So this is how things are. And other than that, if the Iranian like they are back in action, the restrictions are lifted from Iran, आपके restriction जो हैं वो कम हो जाते हैं ईरान के ऊपर. Okay, this and that. So if that is gone, restrictions कहीं ना कहीं कम हो गए, so it is going to be helpful. Now restrictions कम हो गए मतलब restrictions कम हो गए means that India will be able to utilize whatever investment we did, whether it is Chabahar port, whether it is north south transit corridor. Okay, we will be able to use those things to its full capacity. हम उन चीज़ों को full capacity पे use कर पाएंगे and further it will also improve India's relationship with Iran. So this is how it is the important development that is taking place right now. So we'll move to the next news. Now prolonged Rohingya stay impact Bangladesh stability. So Bangladesh is asking for early resolution. जितना जल्दी हो सके solution दे दो हमें. This is what Bangladesh is asking. Okay, but it appears that early solution is not coming. ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपको आज का सोल्यूशन हमें ना देखने को मिल रहा हो. ओके, एंड इट्स अ प्रॉब्लमेटिक थिंग हियर. ये थोड़ा प्रॉब्लमेटिक है कि व्हाई वी आर नॉट एबल टू गेट द अर्ली सोल्यूशन. ओके, कि क्यों हमें अर्ली सोल्यूशन नहीं मिल रहा है. ये चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा समझनी है आपको ज़रूरी है. ठीक है ना, ये चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा समझनी ज़रूरी है. नाउ हियर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग. लाइक फर्स्ट थिंग इज दिस, रोहिंग्याज दे माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम म्यांमार. वो म्यांमार से आए हैं. सो इट मीन्स दैट यू हैव टू कन्विंस द बर्मीज आर्मी. सबसे पहले तो आपको म्यांमार में जो आर्मी है उनको कन्विंस करना पड़ेगा ना. सो बांग्लादेश इज एक्सपेक्टिंग इंडिया टू प्ले सम रोल टू कन्विंस, टू पुट प्रेशर ऑन म्यांमार. बट द पॉइंट हियर इज दैट वी हैव टू प्ले इट क्वाइट सेफली. वी कैन नॉट पुट प्रेशर ऑन म्यांमार राइट नाउ. हम बिल्कुल भी प्रेशर नहीं पुट कर सकते हैं बिकॉज इफ यू आर पुटिंग अ प्रेशर ऑन म्यांमार, म्यांमार माइट गेट क्लोजर विद चाइना. This is how things are, and we need the assistance of Myanmar to control insurgency in the northeast. भाई अगर आपको नॉर्थ ईस्ट में इंसर्जेंसी कंट्रोल करनी है तो आपको म्यांमार की हेल्प की जरूरत पड़ेगी. This is how things are. Okay, So we cannot outrightly go there and start criticizing, you can say, the development in these areas. भाई हम सीधा जाके ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि भाई ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, वैसा नहीं होना चाहिए, this and that. So we have to be very, you can say, careful about this particular point. We cannot outrightly go there and support the Burmese as well, because this is the mass persecution they are carrying out. तो ये तो लोगों को मार रहे हैं, and we cannot support that. You have to respect the human rights, okay? Human rights को respect करना है हमें. But because of the national compulsions, national interest, you cannot go there and outrightly, you can say, reject or put pressure on Myanmar. तो हम उनके ऊपर प्रेशर भी नहीं डाल सकते हैं. दिस इज द लिमिटेशन दैट वी हैव टू डील विद. तो कभी कभी आपको ऐसी सिचुएशन के साथ डील करना पड़ता है कि दोनों तरफ आपको नुकसान होने का डर है. सो यू हैव टू वॉक अ टाइट रॉप. So here we have this, you can say, news from the economy page, which says that India may need up to 28 gigawatt in new coal-fired plants by 2032. So this is what they are saying. They are saying that we have to invest, we have to continuously invest. There is no other chance, okay? There is no other choice that we have. We know that coal based power plants, they are polluting, बिल्कुल pollute करते हैं वो, there is no denial on that, but you have to address your energy security as well. We cannot compromise on our energy security. And the point is this, look at the, means India is going to be the fastest growing economy in the world, okay? So fastest growing major economy in the world. So this is how things are going to be for us. Now as you are the fastest growing economy, you will require more energy security at a cheaper rate, okay? आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चाहिए, और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ऐसी that should be available at a cheaper price. That's the point here, and there we cannot move away from coal. उस चीज में हम कोल से पीछे नहीं हट सकते हैं, because coal is still the cheapest source of energy, okay? कोल आज की डेट में भी चीपेस्ट है, एंड वी कैन नॉट मैच इट आउट. yes, we have to diversify it. आप renewables की तरफ जा रहे हो, this and that, but still we do remain dependent on the coal. आपकी कोल के ऊपर डिपेंडेंसी अभी नियर फ्यूचर में खत्म नहीं हो सकती, ये रियलिटी है. दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर, ओके? यही चीज आपको सबसे ज्यादा समझनी है यहाँ पे. इवन द बिल गेट्स, ही सेड दैट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड that coal is polluting, but the whole world cannot outrightly give away coal. भाई ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि हमें हमारा मन किया और हमने कोल को छोड़ दिया. दिस इज हाउ इट इज एन इम्पोर्टेंट रिसोर्स, ओके? आप सीधा जाके कोल के ऊपर अपनी डिपेंडेंसी खत्म नहीं कर सकते. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी इजी. दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट दे आर मेकिंग, एंड दे आर क्वाइट राइट अबाउट इट. एंड दे आर क्वाइट राइट अबाउट इट. वो बिल्कुल ठीक है इस चीज़ों को लेके. सो दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. Other than that, drop in forex reserve concerning as inflow lag. Now देखिए आपके यहाँ पे FDI नहीं आ रहा है, okay? Investment is not picking up. Investment नहीं हो रहा है आपके यहाँ पे because global slowdown है थोड़ा बहुत, ठीक है ना? Global slowdown is there. So in that scenario where investment is not there, you may end up, you can say, you may not be able to grow your forex reserve. भाई आप अपना forex reserve जो है वो बढ़ा ना पाओ. चांसेस हो सकते हैं, बिल्कुल ऐसे हो सकते हैं ना, कि आप अपना फोरेक्स रिजर्व बढ़ा ना पाओ, एंड इट इज गोइंग टू बी चैलेंजिंग. यही कहीं ना कहीं बड़ा चैलेंज है कि आपका फोरेक्स रिजर्व जो है वो बढ़ नहीं रहा है, ओके? नाउ द पॉइंट दैट वी आर मेकिंग हियर, जो पॉइंट यहाँ पे समझने वाला है कि फोरेक्स रिजर्व आपका इंक्रीज नहीं हो रहा है, बट यू हैव टू यूज योर फोरेक्स रिजर्व बिकॉज यू हैव टू मैनेज द रुपी डॉलर इक्वेशन. सो रुपी डॉलर इक्वेशन भी आपको मैनेज करनी है. दैट्स द प्रॉब्लमेटिक पार्ट हियर, दैट्स द चैलेंज, बिकॉज हियर यू मे हैव टू यूज मोर डॉलर्स. आपको अपना डॉलर खर्च करना पड़ेगा, ओके? इसको बैलेंस करने के लिए आप अपना डॉलर आपको खर्च करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना? दैट्स द पॉइंट हियर. नाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस एंगल. नाउ देयर आर मल्टीपल रीजंस व्हाई डॉलर इज गेटिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर. डॉलर स्ट्रॉन्ग क्यों हो रहा है? सो वन ऑफ द रीजन दैट इज देयर, दैट फेडरल रिजर्व, ओके, यूएस फेडरल रिजर्व इज इंक्रीजिंग द इंटरेस्ट रेट्स, ओके? वो अपने कंट्री में इंटरेस्ट रेट को इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं. नाउ एज द इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीज, इट मीन्स दैट बॉन्ड यील्ड, देखिए जो गवर्नमेंट की सिक्योरिटी होती है, ठीक है जी, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज निकलती हैं यहाँ पे, जो सेंट्रल बैंक उसको इशू करता है। सो इंडिया के एंड पे रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया हमारे भारत सरकार की सिक्योरिटीज को इशू करता है, वो एक तरीके का बॉन्ड होता है। सो गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड या सिक्योरिटीज है, एज द इंटरेस्ट रेट इज इंक्रीज बाय द सेंट्रल बैंक, सो द बॉन्ड एंड द सिक्योरिटी यील्ड, ओके, वो भी इंक्रीज हो जाता है, वो भी इंक्रीज हो जाता है। सो आपके पास ये चांस होता है कि आप जाके गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड खरीदे, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी खरीदे। सो नाउ इफ यू आर बाइंग गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड एंड गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी, फर्स्ट इज दिस, इट इज रिस्क फ्री। ये जो होता है ये रिस्क फ्री होता है। इट विल से दैट आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ 1 year दिस मच मनी यू विल गेट, भाई 1 साल के बाद आपको इतना पैसा मिल जाएगा, और उतना पैसा मिल जाता है। दिस इज द अरेंजमेंट दैट इज देयर। Now, as it's a risk-free money, definitely people will invest in these things. बाकी जगहों से पैसा निकाल के लोग इधर डालेंगे. So what they will do, they will take out money from the Indian stock market and in other areas. भाई जो स्टॉक मार्केट में पैसा लगा हुआ है वो वहां से निकाल के. This is the point that you have to understand. This is the main logic here. Okay. So that's it for the day then. Thank you very much.